All right, to watch this video for Friday, May 27th, quick reminder, the market is closed on Monday, so you're talking about the Friday before a holiday weekend. So it's going to be pretty dead, maybe some gappers available in the morning, but after that, I don't know that I would hang out the rest of the day. The SPY, let me zoom in a little bit here to show you now, just a quiet, very narrow range day sitting up here at this trend line. So not a lot of action, and I think it's going to, and we're heading into summer, so things are going to get lower volume out there, and you got to be more selective. But it's a good time to learn to trade, in a more quiet environment, less chaotic. So keep that in mind. Summer is not a bad time to get your feet wet if you're wanting to learn to trade. Just make sure that you choose someone who's going to keep you safe, not a gunslinger, if you will. All right. So here's the list that I have for Friday and CLRB. This is, there's nothing really amazing about this other than you had this huge 2-day run, and now you're kind of flagging. You do have 3 red days in a row. You are at support right around that. What was the low right here was 303. The low today 308. So you kind of are at support. I like this for a potential bounce tomorrow. All right, so that's CLRB, and remember, these are only called on an intraday basis, so we don't just blindly take it. We have an entry method for every trade that we take on an intraday basis, but then based on the daily chart. All right, so SPEX, after the gap up and pop, now you're 2 days lower. This is a good candidate for a bounce play. Now you're getting back down to the 8-day, back down to almost a gap fill. It's a good candidate for a potential bounce tomorrow. PANW, this one I think reported in after hours. I I missed a bid. I had a bid in and after. I don't trade after hours very often, but I put a bid in at 129.54, something like that. I wanted it right above the half and below 130. The half, above 129.50. Anyway, I don't have the pre-market on or the after hours on here, but this thing got down to just a little bit above 130 in after hours. So right now it's trading at 136.02. That would have been a great after hours trade. I missed it by like 70 cents. Anyway, missed my bid. So keep an eye on this one. I don't know how it's going to open tomorrow. I really liked it if it would have sold off some more and opened around 130. I like it as a potential long. Now with the bounce to 136, and I'm making this video 45 minutes after the market closes, so it might open somewhere, not even close to here, but it looks like it's going to open around 136. And if it does, I don't really have an idea because it could push down. But if it does gap down and then push down to that 130 area, I really like that for a potential bounce. So that's a lot of ifs. But anyway, we'll keep that one on watch. GEO, nice spike today on nice volume. I'll just be looking for a red to green or some kind of intraday long setup. We don't want to chase. And when you have a big candle like that, the next day feels like chasing, but sometimes you can get just a quiet red to green and get a nice trade. EBIO, very handsome daily chart here. Spike, lower high, and then you can picture a trend line here. And I'll just use the segment here. Right, that's really pretty. And a nice volume spike today. I did get one trade in this one. I didn't make very much in it though, but it closed strong, and it's worth watching for some follow through tomorrow. That is EBIO. NMBL had this breakout yesterday, but closed about where it opened, and today a quiet inside day, but closed above its open. Let's go to 15-minute candles. So, I like it over today's high, then it might challenge yesterday's high. So it's just a quiet inside. There's nothing really tricky here. 885 would be an interesting entry point for NMBL. Now remember, we don't know where it's going to open. If it opens at $8 even and then gets to 885, I'll like it a lot less if it runs straight up to there. So everything is that I talk about is based on, we'll make judgment calls on an intraday basis. But if this were to open fairly flat, it's definitely interesting as an 885 long, thinking that might push it up to this 933, and over that, it looks really good. So anyway, I like the volume yesterday and a quiet day today. And then lastly, I have NERV. This got to be on watch for, the next week or two. 33 million shares. Look at this. Take today's candle out of it. Look at the chart coming into the news today. It was just decimated, right? And then look at that. Crazy action. Sadly, I saw this. I could have had this at $6 in pre-market, and I felt like I was chasing, because it was halted, and then when it opened, I could have had it at $6. and then it was 7, 8, 9, 10. Before you know it was over 15, I think, in pre-market. Just one of those things. But anyway, I did call late day idea in this when it looked like this. You had the early high, right? It gapped up, sold off, took out the highs, and then kind of an intraday cup and handle, very tight flag here. I said over this flag might push through the high of the day and squeeze, and that's exactly what happened. So, and I know I got some members in the chat that took that. I didn't. I'd already had a decent day, so I was just holding on to my money, keeping it. But that was a nice move, and it's, you know, it should be on watch again if you're a day trader for the next several days. All right. We'll also check for gappers in the morning. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.